But the power shots, again, 67 to 27 at a 36% ratio isn't bad. But it's all in all a good win, man. Like I said, I just thought that the optics of it would make things a lot better or more competitive than the actual fight really was. And then the other thing, too, is that I'm telling you, I'm glad she got that knockdown at the end, because if she didn't, then some people would have been like, "Oh, this fight was boring." But as soon as she got the knockdown and in the manner in which Perkins kind of crumpled, that kind of capped the fight off. Like, I think you'd have heard a lot more rumblings about the fight not living up to what it is supposed to live up to. But shout out to the GOAT for delivering, right at the right moment, at the right time, to cap off an excellent performance in my eyes. You see Pap right there. Did you see this fight right here, man? That was like the craziest fight I ever seen in my life. Did you see the big boys that the co-feature? The Brandon?
I heard about this one, but I didn't see this one though.
Oh man, just check the highlights out, man. Did you get a chance to check it out, Shane?
I saw a clip of it. I saw a clip of it because I was just coming home from work, you know what I'm saying, when the fight was when the main event was fixing to come on. So I just caught like a little clip of it and kind of heard them talking about it, but I really didn't get to see it, like.
Listen,
man, it looks crazier than what I heard.
The Vail lookalike was the rep. You understand what I'm saying?
What?
You the one said that that's your twin. You know what I'm saying? You the one told me that. Remember you were saying a little dude, the referee?
Oh man, no, I said somebody said that I remind them of him, or he reminds them of me. I don't know, but I don't know about just exactly looking like me.
Oh, I don't know. That's what I thought you said. But anyway, however, what the thing was that he kept trying to. Well, he was taking points away from Lacey, and so Lacey, his fighting style was just crazy, man. But he was throwing his big shots, but he just every time he'd come in, he would grab, like every time. And so after a while, it got to a point they took about 3 points away, and he could have took about 12 if he wanted to. But he just kept doing the same thing over and over. And then finally, he just got tired, and so I think he was looking for a way out. So he kind of pushed Brandon more outside the ring, and then the referee is counting. Now he tackled a dude, and he's laying on top of him. The referee is counting to see who's going to get back in the ring first, and I'm like, why are you even doing it? This dude should have been disqualified. Then he just pulls this crazy move out of his hat, but then Moore ends up getting in the ring, and then they call the fight. So I guess I don't know what they would call it. If it was a disqualification, if it was a knockout, because it wasn't a punch that was landed. I'm gonna bring my guy on here, the man, the myth, the legend, Ty Finney. Ty, I'm gonna read your comment though, good sir, because you was talking about 50 Cent beefing with Meech, and then he's also canceling BMF. Yeah, that's a whole fact right there. 50 Cent is an interesting character. But what it do though, Ty? How you doing today, good brother?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Yes, sir. What were your thoughts on the quote last week, last Sunday? Did you get a chance to check it out?
No, I didn't get a chance to see it. I had to work, but I did catch the highlights and everything. And like Carissa shows, her power definitely went up with her. Once she moved up to heavyweight, she's undisputed in a couple of weight classes, so she's doing her thing, man. Hats off to her. She did a good job.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna keep it moving, man, because next week we got a couple boxing matches that's gonna take place. Some of these, hopefully, these matches don't break you fellas up with you and your significant other, because your boy Keith's fighting on Valentine's Day. I know he's supposed to be out there, with your roses and Valentine's Day. You understand what I'm saying? And going out for a nice meal. But then you got the Baranchek versus Keyshawn fight card. Oh, it's gonna be on the 15th? I thought it was on the 14th. No, it is on the 14th. Yeah. So what do you think, man? So Keyshawn, he's gonna come in. He's 12-0, 8 KOs, 25 years of age, nice tall lightweight at 5'9", 70-inch reach, representing 7 cities owned Norfolk, Virginia, home of Pernell Whitaker. They call him the businessman. He's coming off an impressive victory against Gustavo Lemos. Lavelle Jackson was in the house. He also has a couple other victories. He had the Madueno victory, and then also I think he was the first one to stop Pedraza in a long time. And so he's coming riding in pretty high. Dennis Berinchyk, he comes from that Ukraine background. He's 19-0, not the most heaviest puncher in the game, but he's a slick guy. He has a lot of know-how. I don't think that he's still in his prime. He is kind of on the decline, but not bad though. He still has a lot of his skills left, but he's definitely not at his peak at 36 years of age. 2 inches shorter at 5'7". He's orthodox. Again, Ukrainian, has a WBO belt. He's coming off a victory over Emmanuel Navarrete. And then also Vail was impressed with his victory over Anthony. Can you dig it?
Yeah, man. Anthony, can you dig it? One of the top guys out there.
Yeah, that's Vail guy right there, man. Talk to us. Talk to us, Kate. What do you think, Vail? We'll start with you. We're going the same pecking order. What you got, Vail? Talk to us.
Oh, man. I think Keyshawn Davis, he's on the rise. His confidence is high. He looked very, very good in his last fight against Gustavo Lemos. I know I think he had a few fights before that where he was looking a little bit, there was some concern there, but I think that made him better. And I think that's only going to help him. And I think he's making the right choice as far as the opponent of champion. If he's going to go after the belts, you got to go after a strong guy. Outside of all the other guys, you don't want to throw him in there too quick with a tank or somebody like that, even if he is ready. So I think they're going the right direction. Berinchyk is a tough guy. He's it's interesting because Navarrete was looked at as the favorite in the fight, and that was a particular upset where Berinchyk basically just controlled Navarrete and using his sloppiness against him, and it was outboxing him. So I think it brings a different style for Keyshawn Davis. But I think Keyshawn's going to shine this fight. I'm not sure if he's going to stop him, but I wouldn't be surprised if he knock him down, once or twice in this fight. So I do have, because I don't think Berinchyk, even though Berinchyk can box well, I'm not sure if he has the firepower to really. He can get Keyshawn's respect, but he can't really make Keyshawn wilt. So I have Keyshawn Davis winning a decision over Dennis Berinchyk.
Go ahead, Shane. It's up to you, man. It's on you.
Go to Ty. I got the music noise real quick. So just go ahead and go to Ty real quick.
Yes, sir. Ty, what you got, man, for us? Who you think's gonna be victorious in this?
Yeah, I got Keyshawn for sure, man. I think he's one of the best fighters on the rise right now. He's beating everybody they put in front of him. I mean, he's going to be in New York. He's going to be on a big stage. He's fighting the champion. I could see him taking full advantage. Like Val said, his confidence is high. He had a very impressive performance in his hometown. I think he wants to continue that streak. Like you said, it's a nice little age difference, but Belichick is a champion, but I think this is Keyshawn's moment, and like I said, he's going to take full advantage, and they're going to crown him the new champ. Man, he's definitely going to call out some big names afterwards.
Yeah, that's what he do, man. I'm gonna say this as far as my take on the fight. I think that in this one, Keyshawn is going to have to. If I was Keyshawn, the approach that I would take, definitely go in there and be mean early, but also he may not want to come out with his guns blazing in the manner in which he did against Lemos. And the reason why I'm saying that is because somebody like Berinchyk can kind of use that against you and then kind of wear you down and make the fight kind of ugly, and then, kind of ink out an ugly decision because he's cut from that cloth where he knows how to win, and he knows what to do as far as all of the tricks of the trade. You know what I'm saying? Being 36 years of age, being around guys like the Usyks and Lomachenkos and Gazdik and things like that. He comes from that cloth, right? So early. You know what I mean? Just work the body. You know, put some heavy stuff on him. You know, but mainly work that body and then wear him down where you can catch him, where you have the lead in the fight, and then he has to take more chances in order for him to get back in the fight. And then once he does that, then it's a wrap, because he just doesn't have the firepower to keep up with Keyshawn. Now, conceivably, he could just like be like, you know what, today's not my day, and I'm not going to go out like that, and I'm just going to go ahead and make it to the finish line. He could do that. But if there's a time where he understands that he's down in the fight, if Keyshawn's playing his cards right, because this would be like not to the extent of the Ray Leonard and Terry Norris, because Ray Leonard was much more past it than where Barichek is. But I'm saying in the sense that Keyshawn, if they exchange, he's just going to be faster. He's going to be stronger. He's more powerful. All of those things. When I looked at the Sugar Ray Leonard and Norris fight, Sugar Ray still had some opportunities. He just saw it, but he just couldn't do anything about it. And then sometimes when he'll land something, or he'll just miss the sweet spot where he wanted to land on shots. And that could conceivably be the case in this one. But I just think Keyshawn is on one right now. So my prediction would be probably about an 8th, 9th round TKO victory. But I'm going to say 8th round TKO victory for the kid, because it's just another step for him. Hometown fight, sold it out, impressive performance. Now you're on that big stage. You know, you're in the Garden right now. So, you know, and that's when the stars come out. But what about you, Shane? What do you think is going to happen in this?
What fight you got, boss? The Keyshawn fight?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Keyshawn.
Okay. I think it's a good fight for him. You know, good opponent, good stepping stone. I feel like Keyshawn's on the rise right now. He'll wobble him a couple times. I think he'll win by decision. Sorry, it's noisy around here, but I had to get on top for a minute. But yeah, man, I think he'll wobble him a couple of times during the fight. I think I can't really get his name right. Barichek. I think he's at least durable enough to probably go the distance, but just like he's gonna take a beating. It's a good stepping stone for Keyshawn.
That's what's up. Yeah, hopefully Keyshawn, move on to bigger and better things after this one. But I'm not gonna write Barichek off. But this is a good champion to, start off, your career if you're gonna really be that dude. You know what I'm saying? They got to start somewhere. And I think on February 14th in Madison Square Garden, that's gonna be the moment that he start the, people start to be reckoned with Keyshawn Davis. You know what I'm saying? Not that they wasn't already. If you saw that fight, or if you were at that fight in Norfolk, then you know what he brings to the table. But this right here at the Madison Square Garden, it's just more eyes are going to be able to see this, and the buzz is going to be even bigger. You know what I'm saying? And so also Keyshawn, he said that if he win that title, he's going to target Pitbull. Bill, what do you think, though? If he get his hands on Pitbull, what do you think the outcome is going to be?
The question is, will Pitbull even step in the ring with him? This Pitbull that's kind of, I mean, if you want to say he's barking, he's like, so he's not really barking that hard.
But here's the thing, like Pitbull, he looked like he don't like to fight boxers. Like it ain't like he don't have to chase Keyshawn. Keyshawn will be right there for him.
Man, Keyshawn can box though. That's the thing, and Keyshawn can move if he choose to, but. I don't know. I think it'll be an interesting fight, but I think it will make Keyshawn better. I like that fight better for Keyshawn than I do Pitbull.
Okay, but I'm asking, what fight did you see Keyshawn like boxing?
Let me see. I know it was one of those fights. I think it was early on. I think it was a couple fights ago. The one where he had to gut his way through. I think he relied more on his boxing skill versus trying to muscle his way to a victory. Let me see what fight that was.
I'm saying all these dudes that I see him, he been putting his paws on dudes. But the thing is,
no, it was one of those fights that went the distance that he got criticized for.
Nah, when you talking about the Marduano fight, Marduano was catching him with some stuff.
Marduano.
Yeah, but so he was trying to come back Marduano. And that's when the Lemos fight came, I'm like, I don't know, because when he was like having those exchanges with Maduano was having some success in those exchanges. So anyway, Ty, what do you think, good sir? Who would you like Pitbull's chances against Keyshawn or the opposite?
I don't like Keyshawn's. I mean, I don't like Pitbull's chances. Now he was in a good fight in his last fight. He was coming on. He was winning, but I think his opponent started coming on later in the second half of that fight. But yeah, Pitbull seems like the fighter that doesn't really have a plan B in his fights. You know, you take the Valenzuela. He just comes in swinging for the fences, but it didn't seem like he had a plan B. And Valenzuela just kept that jab in his face. Pitbull just kept lunging in, and he didn't have any other backup plan. And I think Keyshawn has too many tricks up his sleeve, for a guy to just keep coming in and swinging like that. But Keyshawn isn't a tall guy, so Pitbull may have some success with that, but I think Keyshawn is just too fast on his feet to get caught in that trap. So I see maybe Pitbull having, some moments early in the fight, but eventually Keyshawn just figures them out and just, probably wins by decision.
Well, you there with us, Shane, or still loud back there?
I'm good.
Yeah, what you think though? As far as a potential matchup, if Keyshawn is successful, do you think that what would you think about a Keyshawn versus Pitbull Cruz fight?
Honestly, I love that fight for Keyshawn, man, because I mean Pitbull's tough. It take him a minute to get him out of there. I think just style versus style and everything. I think that's the fight that like everybody, is gonna look and be like, Keyshawn's the man, like he's the next star, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause that's a perfect next step for him. I mean, and if he goes that route with the Barichek fight now and then that fight next, like if he goes that route, like he's taking steps perfectly to climb that ladder to success. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I love it. I love that fight, and I would definitely pay to see it. I mean, that's one that it wouldn't be hard. Put it this way, it wouldn't be hard for me to sell this fight to people, like to a casual fan. Like I could sell this fight to a casual fan. And then when they see it, they're going to be interested because Pitbull's going to have his moments, you know what I'm saying? Not very many of them, but he going to have his moments. So I love the fight, man. It's a star-making fight to me, like for Keyshawn.
Yeah, I like the fight as well for a couple of reasons. One, with Pitbull's style, he's probably the most likely to engage with Pitbull when Pitbull wants to sit there and throw those winging shots. And I think that with his style, he'll get there quicker. But he's a mean little son of a gun himself. So he wants all the smoke. If you want to sit up there and bang it out, then we can go ahead and do that. But then also he likes to do it on his own terms in certain situations. Perfect fight, because out of all the guys that you think about, even when Tank fought Pitbull, he was kind of boxing him a little bit. When you had Shakur would box him, and so it would just be the style. He would easily beat Pitbull, but it won't really be like that exciting of a fight. You know what I'm saying? So out of the top guys, it's a perfect fight. But I like it even more for this reason. See, you got Henchins who had trouble with Gustavo Lemos. So now I go in there and wipe the floor with him to show you that it's a difference between me and that dude right there. Like this is what I did to him. Pitbull Cruz, he gave Tank life and death in the ring. Now I get up in there, I'm putting these paws on him. So Tank, you sitting up here was trying to get a Pitbull rematch. Now you need to come see me, because you see what I did to him, and you over here going 12 rounds with him and whatnot. And so I like it from that standpoint, because then it would be more of a demand for the Davis and Davis showdown, and then that would put more pressure on Tank. What about you, Ty? You like that, or did you already chime in?
Yeah, I already chimed in.
Okay.
But I want to say before you move forward, I want to say as far as what you were talking about earlier, the Brandon Moore and I think the guy's name is Scott Lacey or something.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I caught that. Like, people were messing me about it, so I just happened to watch it. I watched it on the playback, and I thought it was hilarious, man. Like, it was hilarious. Like I said, the guy Sky, he just kept holding and holding, and then like when they both end up going out the ring, it was kind of like WWE type stuff, man. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a ref count when both guys are out the ring, and then when one guy gets in the ring, the ref raises his hand. So it was definitely like some WWE stuff, but I thought that fight was real funny.
I might have to check that out too, man. I'm gonna check that out.
All right, Phil. Let's make sure we stay focused on the real boxers and not the silliness. Okay. All right, very good. So also next week, the 15th, the Zone is gonna have a fight card that's gonna be headlined by Jack Catterall and Arnold Barboza. Jack Catterall, and this fight is going to take place out there in the UK. Catterall is 31 controversial loss that he had against Josh Taylor. He has 13 KOs. Out of the United Kingdom, he's a southpaw, 5'7", 69-inch reach. They call him El Gato. It's interesting, but he's not Spanish, but he got a Spanish name. Coming off the Josh Taylor victory, also the Regis Prograis victory, has a win over Jorge Linares, one of the only guys that went the distance with Jorge Linares. And you see the other victories on his resume. Arnold Barboza, 31-0 with 11 KOs, 33 years of age, 5'9". He has a 72-inch reach. He is coming off a victory against Jose Ramirez. I thought he boxed very impressively against Jose Ramirez. Has a controversial victory over Sean McCombs. Many people believe that Sean McCombs actually won that fight, myself included. He also has victories over Jose Pedraza, or a victory over Jose Pedraza. Okay, same pecking order, Vale. What do you think, man, is going to happen in this one? The Jack Catterall versus Arnold Barboza Jr. This fight right here is to put the person who wins is going to position himself as the mandatory for Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah, it's funny because this is actually going to be an interesting fight. And I think either one of these guys have a chance, if they win, have a chance to beat Teofimo Lopez, based off of that. Both of them are kind of spoilerish. They're spoilers. They both use their jab a lot. They both move effectively. I think I like the way Arnold Barboza moves a little bit more. I want to say one of them is southpaw. I think it's Jack Catterall that's southpaw. That could play into this fight. And I think it's going to be a fight that's going to have a lot of skill in it, but it's also going to have some entertaining moments because you look at these two guys, you may look at their percentage and say they don't have a lot of knockouts, but that is good. But when you look at how they fight, I think it will be some good. It's going to be a lot of jabbing, but it's going to be some good exchanges, midway into the fight. That's going to produce some. It'll be an interesting fight to watch, especially for us, boxing fans. So it's very, very hard to predict, but I do think that Arnold Barboza is the faster of the two. So I'm kind of going to go with that. I don't know if I want to go with speed or I want to go with, Jack Catterall's style. But you know what? All right, I'm going to go with Arnold Barboza Jr. in a decision.
Yes, sir. All right, Ty, what you got? Is Ty still with us? If not, I'll go. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay. I'm here. I'll go with Jack Catterall. I just feel that he's got the better experience. He's fought the better names. Now, like you said, Barboza fought. He fought Pedraza. I just feel that Pedraza is he just washed up at this point in his career now. So I just feel that Catterall, he lost to Josh Taylor and beat him in the rematch. I just feel that his experience is going to play out, but I don't see any like being a knockdown or anything like that. I think Jack Catterall wins by decision.
Yes, sir. Adam Hurley says I got Barboza. That's my guy. Okay. What about you, head of security? Who you got, and why?
I got Catterall as well. I think he will get some problems. I do agree with Bill. I think Barboza is a little bit faster. But I just think the skill of Catterall overall will lead him to win a decision.
Yeah, I'm going. Initially, when the thing is, what I thought might have been tricky for Jack Catterall is the fact that you fight another boxer, and typically, when I see Jack Catterall being successful, he likes guys to come to him, and Barbosa as well. But here's the thing: when I did my research, that McComb fight, the Sean McComb fight, solidified who I thought was going to win. I'm going with Jack Catterall because in the McComb's fight, Barbosa didn't know what to do with the southpaw stance. So he's trying to switch from righty to lefty. He's just trying to figure it out the whole fight. And consequently, most of us thought that Sean McCombs won that fight. And so if he's going to have trouble against McCombs, I can only imagine what a cutie like Jack Catterall is going to do to him. And Jack Catterall is getting more and more confident. The other reason why I'm giving it to Jack Catterall, because I think if it's close, he's going to get the decision in his hometown or in his home region. In Manchester. So I got Jack Catterall. No knockout or anything like that. Both of these guys really don't hit too hard, but they hit hard enough, and they're kind of strong too for the weight class. But at the same time, Jack Catterall is going to be a little bit too much. By the time Barbosa gets into the fight and starts to try to figure things out, he'll be down about 3 or 4 rounds already. And then my main man Jack is just going to go ahead and close the show in terms of the championship round. So I got Catterall, man, 12-round unanimous decision. Barbosa beat Ramirez last time out, absolutely. But Ramirez, too, is a come forward type guy, come forward type grinder. All right, so now let's go ahead and see. I think Teofimo, if I was Teofimo, I would go ahead and just do the Henchins fight as opposed to fighting Catterall and then have to fight Henchins if I'm trying to unify anyway. I would just go ahead and eliminate that, get the other belt, and then seek out the other champion afterwards as well. But that's a good little scrap, man. You know, styles make fights, so it's going to be very, very interesting. We got the Super Bowl coming up, fellas, so we're going to go ahead and get to this boxing news. I got several different topics. It may be kind of out of order, you know, and whatnot, but we shall see. Anything else you guys have before we go into our boxing news? Also, I'll put the link in the chat for you. My main man, Adam Hurley, you know what I'm saying? If you want to come through, speak your piece, you're always more than welcome to do so. Seem like a knowledgeable guy. Here, the first thing I have is Ryan Garcia's returning to Eddie Reynoso. Vail had a problem last week with Jaime Magia switching trainers and going with Reynoso. So do you have the same problem with Ryan Garcia switching trainers, sir? Tied. Is that still tied? Oh my God.
Yeah, I think Val's off. So it's
oh, okay. Oh my God. Yeah, we got him too much dead time, man. Yeah, what you think?
Well, I know Eddie Reynoso was saying in the past that, you know, Ryan Garcia, he never really liked to train. Like he was always saying he was the guy that liked to be in the spotlight, being on the camera. So if he's going back to the guy that was saying all this, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Reynoso is giving him a second chance. I don't know, but I just know that Reynoso, he used to say that about Ryan Garcia, like he liked to be in the spotlight. So maybe you know, this PD thing, maybe it woken him up a little bit. Maybe he's ready to get back focused, maybe he's ready to get back on track, and Eddie Reynoso is going to give him a second chance, and they can make some good fights and make some history going forward.
What do you think? How long do you think it's going to last, Ty?
It all depends on Ryan, man. What Ryan shows up. If he's focused, if he's still out doing crazy stuff, if he's still going to be on the juice, not long at all. But if he's showing, you know, he's disciplined, if he's showing that he's ready to, you know, reinvent himself, then I'll see it lasting. But if it's the same Ryan doing all that crazy stuff, I don't think it lasts.
I'm gonna tell you something before I turn it over to you, Shane. You know, Ryan Garcia, this fight is for the WBC regular, well, I want to say welterweight championship. How do you get a ban for a year? You come back and you're able to fight for a regular. Shane, I'm gonna turn it over to you. I mean, what type of punishment is that? I don't get it. But I digress.
Yeah. Well, Honestly, it wasn't really much of a punishment at all, was it? I mean, now the Eddie Reynoso thing, man, I think honestly, it shows the level of maturity and growth from him. I think it isn't. I know that I've seen him there. Isn't Teofimo Lopez over there with training with Canelo and
I
everything?
think so. Yeah, I think so, man. I think so.
Yeah, that's a real interesting mix, don't you think, for Ryan Garcia to be there, training at the same gym and everything, and
Well, they gotta have different times, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had different times.
yeah, but the same camp and everything. Man, your camp is like supposed to be legit. And I think like one thing about Ryan Garcia, man, is he doesn't stay with anybody, man. He's been with Goosen, he's been with Derrick James, and now he's returning there. Like his biggest gripe was that everything was about Canelo, and I'm pretty sure that was probably true because, like you said, Canelo's the face of boxing. But I mean, I think he can make it last if he really wants this. Ryan can make it last. I mean, one thing about him, it's not like he fights. Like he's willing to fight. At least I'll say that. Hopefully he's got a little bit more maturity in him. Like Ty said, I still don't understand the guy. So, it's hard to say. Like I would have to be around the guy a lot more to pick up on like where this crazy talk goes, because the guy contradicts himself so much. The same guy with the mental health problems all of a sudden making fun of mental health. If you remember on this show, I come on the day after, right? And I was proud of this guy for winning and, like overcoming mental health issues and everything. Having those myself, I thought it was very disgraceful to pretend to have them. And so I don't know where this guy's mind's at, but maybe Eddie Reynoso's a smart guy. Maybe he can get through to this kid. Who knows? But I don't know, man. At this point, it seems like there is no getting through to him. Like I know that Ryan's a fish in Vegas. Like like a fish is like a guy like when you play in poker.
He's a lick.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the guy that like the pros come and take a lot of money from and everything. And I've heard he's actually owes a lot of money, and that's why he wants big fights and everything. But who knows, man? The guy's out there. I give it. I'm gonna look on the bright side and give it about 6 months.
Got you. All right. So what? Adam Hurley says, I don't think Ryan should have switched trainers. He's the most underrated fighter in boxing. What does he need? I got him losing. Was it or KOing Rolly in the first round? That'd be interesting. A first round KO. Also, Adam says, if it was all about Canelo, then I see why. Bill, are you there, sir? Are you still experiencing? Are you working with that Flint Wi-Fi, sir?
I am. Am I back?
I think so, sir.
Okay. All right. So yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. So for Ryan Garcia return to Reynoso, I feel like it's not going to last long. I feel he might get him through one fight, but I think that discipline is still going to be an issue. And if Shane, what you said is true about him lying about mental health, I don't know if I really heard that part. That's just, I mean, I know the guy's a piece of crap.
That's a fact. Yeah, it's a fact. Like, yeah, he did. Like, but just
well, we already know he's a piece of crap. So, but that's just low. If you ever dealt with mental health, you know that's how low that actually is. So it's not going. This is a person that's unstable, and for a trainer like Reynoso that's proven it doesn't really need Ryan Garcia to be successful. I can't see it lasting longer than one fight. Reynoso's going to get tired of him, and Ryan's going to leave again.
I think saying that he's unstable kind of gives him a pass for some of the nonsense that he does. He's somebody who just keeps getting away with stuff over and over. we seen Kanye West the other day get persecuted for some of the comments he made about particular groups. This guy right here made comments about Jews. He made comments about blacks. He made comments about Muslims. What's the punishment? The fact is the punishment the fact that now he's fighting Rolly Romero, two guys who haven't fought at 147, but they are fighting for a WBA 147 title. What again? What are you telling these other fighters, man? You come back and, you know, we supposed to have punished you, but then you come back and you're rewarded. Not only are you're fighting for a regular title in a weight class that you never fought before. What is that saying to the 147-pound fighters who've been putting in work? One. Two, what is it saying about somebody violating a policy in a rule? It should be more stiffer and it should be more harsher consequences so that other people won't violate whatever it is that you punish them for in the first place. So that's the thing, that's a problem. It's the Wild Wild West, man. Like, this is nutty. And not only that, he's headlining against the guy he cheated. Make it make sense, man. But anyway, Canelo, he decided to go ahead and take the fight that I made the suggestion. I told Canelo, I said, man, don't stay away from old boy from Canada. A little rough and tough. You might get some bruises. This dude right here is BUM. You understand what I'm saying? He's easy work. And you're gonna go ahead. You talking about me getting some cardio in? That's all he's gonna get in this fight. A little bit of cardio. You know, he's gonna be fine-tuned going into the fight in September against Terrance Crawford. Do you think this was the best choice for Canelo? We kind of talked about this before. I think last week some of you said that this is the direction that he should go. Do you still stand on that, Val? Do you? Who's? Oh my God.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. I mean, if he wants to, you know, just be active and get to a Terrance Crawford fight, yeah, it's a good move. I mean, but if he wants to have a tough fight for himself, of course not. I mean, of course not. I'm more concerned with
Who want to have a tough fight going into a tough fight though? Like, who does that?
I'm not gonna say like a rough, tough fight, but at least a fight where it's like some type of a threat where you kind of up for it. Like, is Canelo really gonna be up for William Scull? Is he? I mean, he can just go in and just be himself, and that's it. All he really is just having a reason to do a training camp. So
you disagree?
And William Scull, does William Scull fight anything like Terrance Crawford?
Who fights like Terrance Crawford though? Who would you fight that fights like Terrance Crawford outside of Terrance Crawford?
I don't know. But I don't. Would it be William Scull though? Is my question.
Did David Avenesian fight like Errol Spence? No, but what Bud could do is work on some things in preparation for Errol Spence. I can work on my inside game because I know the fact that I'm being there in the pocket. So I'm gonna try to make sure that I'm fine-tuned with that. You know, I'm gonna let him hit me a little bit in certain places to make sure that my body is prepared for the punishment that Errol could possibly inflict. You know, was Felix Stern similar to Bernard Hopkins when Oscar De La Hoya fought him before he fought Bernard Hopkins? No, he wasn't, but he wanted to get him a tune.
He wasn't. That's why De La Hoya got dropped by a body shot.
That's why he got dropped by a body shot. But De La Hoya was also fighting at 168 pounds or 160 pounds for the first time. This Canelo's wheelhouse is totally. But he wanted to get him a fight before that just to be a little bit. He don't want to be rusty going into the fight. What about you, Todd? Vail is giving me all the reason why he should take this fight, but then he's telling me he shouldn't. What about you?
Gotta be devil's advocate.
Yeah,
why be devil's advocate when it's not applicable? Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like the fight. I'm not too familiar with Skull. I don't know anybody that Skull's fought, but I mean, this is a 4-fight deal. I think maybe he just taking an easy fight. I mean, look at his last fight. His last fight was with Berlanga. I mean, that wasn't a good fight. Now he's fighting another soft touch. And Skull, I'm not saying Skull's a soft touch, but I mean, I'm not too familiar with him. But even if he does fight, Terrance Crawford in September, I honestly look at that fight as not a great fight. I just watched some clips where Terrance Crawford was saying, like, in different videos, he was saying 168 was too big of a jump. he was saying he wouldn't take that fight. He was just showing like all the doubts. So to me, like for Terrance Crawford, this is kind of like a money grab. This is a money grab. This is a high weight jump. I mean, I don't like this fight, but the Terrance Crawford fight, of course, I'm going to watch it. But I just feel that this is definitely going to be Canelo's definitely going to win the fight. But like I said, it's a 4-fight deal, so we'll see. You know what happens. You know, once these 2 fights are over.
So then what difference does it make if he fight William Scull to go ahead and satisfy his contract and get him a nice little payday, you know, that's not going to be that much of a risk? Wouldn't you do that as well? Or who would you fight, though? You fellas keep telling me that this is not a good fight to take. If you were Canelo, who would you fight knowing that you have Terrance Bud Crawford around the horizons in September? Like, who would you fight in May? Or would you not fight and run the risk of going into the Terrance Bud Crawford fight rusty?
That's a tough one, man. Honestly, don't know. To be honest, honestly don't know.
Talk to me, head of security. You think it's a good idea for old Canelo to get him one in before he fights Bud Crawford?
100%. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I mean, it's just going in there to get ring time and everything. It's no threat to it really whatsoever. Even on his worst day, if he come out eating donuts and, you know, drinking beer, like, he's still gonna outclass Skull by like, you know, a million leagues. It's just going in there to get some ring time and everything. Make sure you're not rusty going into the fight. So for sure, I think it's a good decision.
Yeah, man, you talking real logical right there. I don't get what these fellas trying to say. They just trying to set Bud up for another victory. That's what they trying to do.
All right, Mr. Logical.
No, fight Benavidez at 175 first, and then you come back down. Yeah, don't do that stuff, Canelo.
I never said do that, but the proof's in the pudding. That dude should have fought Benavidez like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Now I want to see him fight Benavidez, but I've done got past the idea of that happening. So, you know, I mean, yeah, I think this is a good route to go to Crawford. Yeah, for sure.
And this dude used Jake Paul just to say William Scull is okay. He was teasing the fight with Jake Paul. I mean, come on, man. Who does that?
You see that right there. So
Jake Paul's been calling his name a lot, sir. Jake Paul's the one calling Canelo constantly. When a man keeps calling your name, like.
Okay, so David Benavidez been calling his name way more than Jake Paul for a lot longer.
Hold on. Okay, but now there's a big difference, you know, like in David Benavidez calling your name, like, I mean, like that we all know that there's a reason that Canelo does not want to fight David Benavidez, and I'm not even saying Canelo would lose. I think he would lose, but I think, you know, obviously he does not want to fight David Benavidez for a reason. You know, like we've all pretty much agreed on that, I believe. But I'm not saying that. But Jake Paul is different, man. Like he's an entertainer. You know what I mean? Like I discussed this with Wilton before. Like that is a different lane. And real fighters really shouldn't associate themselves with that lane. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's the thing. A celebrity can't go play in the NBA just because, you know, but at the same time, people do pay or would watch a celebrity basketball game. It happens all the time. It's just 2 different lanes, you know what I'm saying? But like Canelo just responding to him is one thing, and he should respond to Benavidez. Honestly, I think Canelo should take that as his last fight, go out on his shield, hand it over to Benavidez as the superstar, the next Mexican warrior, you know, and ride off into the sunset. I don't think it hurts Canelo's legacy at all to lose to Benavidez, you know, but I mean, it is what it is. For the fight coming up with Terrance Crawford, which is the most likely thing, I think fighting Skull is a good idea. Get the payday in, get the ring time in, and all of that, you know. Like, now, I'm not defending him at all, when it comes to not responding to David Benavidez at all. Like, David Benavidez is probably my favorite boxer right now. You know, him or Virgil Ortiz Jr. I like Bam too. I'm with Wilton on that. Bam's doing his thing. You know, Keyshawn, but anywho, you know, like Jake Paul had called his name so many times, and like he's a troll, you know. So like, I'm sure Canelo's probably asked about him when he responded, right?
I don't know about that. All I know is this: Canelo is gonna make probably the biggest payday he ever made fighting Jake Paul. So you have to entertain that idea, you know, if that's what he's there. You see the money right there. He's money made Canelo. So
Facts.
I thought about it. The Benavidez thing. Here's the thing, man. I think that Canelo, I would have liked Canelo to have taken that fight by now. See, I see a lot of holes in David Benavidez. A lot of people look at it's a tricky fight from this standpoint. Canelo's more skilled than Benavidez. But Canelo, and this is what Bud Crawford is saying as well, is that he takes time. Like Canelo with the Jaime Munguia, Berlanga, and some of those other guys who aren't as savvy, he can take time off. Like he can bluff them where he's coming in acting like he's going to do something, and then they'll be on guard and stuff like that. What Crawford sees is, I know that you are bluffing, and I can already kind of tell when you're going to try to get your stuff off. So when you're trying to get your stuff off, I'm already be prepared, and I'm going to be moving and be cognizant of what it is that's going to be coming my way, because I can see it coming. Those other guys, they'll be anticipating him doing something, but Canelo just sitting in there and he's just buying time so he doesn't have to overexert himself. And then once he puts somebody in a place where he got them a little bit fearful, then nowadays he's coasting his way to victory. And I think Crawford is looking at it like, nah, I'm not going to let you go ahead and coast. I'm going to Sugar Ray Leonard you against Marvin Hagler, and I'm going to be rat-a-tat-tat you in different spots, and I'm going to get these points and things like that, where I'm going to make it, you're going to have to make a decision on who won that round. And so that's what he's thinking. But Benavidez, Canelo will have a really good shot with him, but the problem with Benavidez is his volume, in that he keeps throwing those punches and combinations, and when Canelo doesn't really want to engage, that might tire him out if he's not able to put some serious hurt on Benavidez. So that's the tricky part. Canelo is more skilled, but also David Benavidez's height too. It's like it could be the Clarissa Shields situation in the Perkins fight, where she couldn't really catch her like she wanted to because of the physicality and the size and things like that, and me trying to gauge the where you are, you know what I mean? And that could take some time. And by the time you figure that out, you might be down on the scorecard so much. And it's going to be a physical fight with David Benavidez. You're not going to come out of there unscathed. You're going to come out of there maybe one or two fights off of the amount of fights that you really want to fight. Is one or two fights are going to be taken away from you, because it's going to be that brutal of a fight. But we'll see, man, moving forward. I'm going to go into and take a look here. It says everyone's talking about Canelo high IQ and skill level. He says that Crawford got a higher. Yeah, I think so. I think in that fight, that's going to be the situation. Canelo, I was listening to Breadman. Breadman was saying that he thinks that Canelo is a better defensive fighter than Crawford, possibly. But at the same time, he doesn't have some of the things that Crawford has, as far as Crawford's going to be faster, he's going to be longer. And the adjustments that Crawford is able to make is, you know, sometimes that just puts him over the top. A lot of people are very high on Morrell, calling him a phenom. He swore up and down he would have more than have Benavidez' number till he got in the ring. Well, I still think that was a goodie. And the experience of David Benavidez is what won him over in that fight to me. But it was a good fight, man. Terrance Crawford, do you agree with this, gentleman, where some people are saying that he's putting his money, because I think I know what you're going to say, Ty, in reference to this headline, where some people are saying that Crawford is fearing the Sharks at 154, and that's why he's chasing the millions that he can get in that fight with Canelo. You agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, like he's only had one fight at 154. You know, he's only had one fight, and I think that he just has more options at 154 instead of, you know, jumping up a weight class. But let's not get it twisted. He's done his thing at 140. He's done his thing at 147. Only one fight at, you know, 154, and he's just jumping in there with, you know, one of the greats at his weight class. So I think it's more of a money grab for Crawford. Like I said, as I just mentioned, I just watched a video after video where he was saying things like he would never fight Canelo. That's too much of a weight, maybe at a catch weight. So I think it's more of a money grab than, you know, him, you know, daring to be great or trying to, you know, showcase his skills. I feel it's more of a money grab at this point. He's older and everything. So that's just me. But I still like the fight though.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, though, so you taking a look at us. But I'm going to ask you this, though, Ty. You don't give Bud a shot at all in this fight.
Yeah, I give him a shot. I give him a shot for sure. I mean, Bud's a big guy. He's a big guy himself. But when you're fighting a guy at 168 for 12 rounds, how is that? You know, how are you going to hold up? Are you going to get tired eventually? You know what I mean? And you know, we know Canelo's a big puncher. He hasn't had, you know, any stoppage or anything like that recently, but we know that he hits hard. So like if he lands binds on Crawford, how is Crawford going to respond? Is he going to get out of breath? Is he going to tire faster? So it's a lot of questions in my mind for this fight.
Can I say something to you in reference to this fight though? And is that Shane coming through, or is that somebody new? I am 4444.
Yeah, I'm somebody new.
Okay. Give me 1 second, good brother. I just want to have this one last situation here with my good friend. Yes, sir. Ty, when you think about a lot of fights in the past with smaller fighters moving up, a lot of times those smaller fighters have success against the bigger guys. I'm thinking about the Manny Pacquiao's against Oscar De La Hoya's. I'm thinking about the times that Pernell Whitaker moved up into different weight classes. I'm thinking about when he fought against Vasquez. Remember Pernell was at 130, very small, right? But then he moved up and fought Vasquez. Was able to be successful against him. Hopkins moving up when he fought against Tarver. When you had Roy Jones going up against Ruiz. When you had Usyk going up and fighting the heavyweights. You know what I'm saying? So to me, like the smaller guys a lot of times have the advantage because they just Michael Spinks when he fought up against Larry Holmes. You know what I'm saying? So what do you say to that?
Yeah, that's a good point, man. That's a good point. Like I just feel Crawford like I guess I look at it like this. Majimov was a champ. Crawford didn't get a stoppage. He stopped everybody at 147. He moves up a weight class. He goes a difference. So he's jumping up another weight class against a tough guy. So and Canelo is one of the best in his division. So he's one of the best in his division. Now I know you said like you just use Usyk as an example. I just feel Usyk was, even though he moved up a division, he was still faster on his feet than those guys. He was faster than Anthony Joshua on his feet. He was faster than Fury. So he moved like a middleweight. But I just feel that Crawford is I just feel that he would slow down. Like I said, he's also older. I mean, this isn't a Crawford that's 25, 24. I mean, this is Crawford that would be 37 to 38 in this fight. So it's just, I still think it's going to be a great fight. I just don't think he wins.
Gotta dare to be great, man. You know, Crawford got them hands. But I'm gonna go ahead and welcome I am 444. What's going on, good brother?
Hey, peace. I just got a question for the brother. Before Usyk beat Tyson Fury, what was the predominant headline in the media? What were people saying before Usyk actually beat him? To the guy that was just talking, that was responding to your question. Me? Yeah, you. Yeah. What's your name? What's your name, brother?
Ty.
Yeah, Ty. Yeah. What was the media saying?
Be honest, I don't really recall, man. You got to refresh my memory. I mean, I assume they were going for Fury. Yeah, I assume they were going for Fury or Joshua. That's what you're asking.
Too big.
Yeah. They were saying that Fury was too big.
Fury was, because of his height, because of Fury's skill set, they felt like what Usyk had done with AJ, that was not going to work for Fury, because Fury was already, they were already comparing him to a Muhammad Ali, an all-time great. So people actually couldn't process how Usyk could even get the job done. But when the fight happened, Usyk, if it wasn't for the ref, would have knocked Fury completely out, down. The ref obviously helped him. Now all of a sudden we want to say Usyk has the foot speed. The bottom line is, like, we can make the assessments, but if we just keep it 100, smaller guys can beat bigger guys sometime, and sometimes smaller guys can lose to bigger guys. But we're going to hedge our bets on Crawford because Crawford has the mentality. Usyk won the fight because of his mentality. It wasn't just of his foot speed. He wasn't afraid of the moment. He wasn't afraid to take it to Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury wasn't prepared for someone with the mentality of a Usyk. That's why.
You know
the
what's
Magomedov fight. Go ahead. I'm listening.
my bad. Yeah, Magomedov is going to be tough for anybody with that herky jerky style. But I was thinking about something when you were saying that. I remember listening to Michael Spinks when he fought Larry Holmes, their first fight, and he was nervous going into the fight. He said that in the first round, he said that he threw a right hand, and he said that when Larry Holmes, when he saw him, and he like closed his eyes to brace for the impact, he said, "I know I can have some success today," because just that right there, and then you talking about a supreme winner in Terrance Crawford. He's just trying to find that one little thing that he can utilize that's gonna, allow him and enable him to be successful that night. You're talking about a true winner, man. Somebody who has, the know-how, and then he got the guts too. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, yeah. But anything. My bad. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. Well, I just had one more question for. I know you mentioned Canelo's power, and just to educate me, brother. Can you tell me the last time that Canelo like truly knocked someone out? And like, why do you feel that the power is so dangerous when he hasn't really knocked anyone out for several years?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like I'm saying, I just feel that since Crawford hasn't fought in this weight, maybe the power is going to be different.
No, forget about Crawford. I'm just asking. I'm just focusing on Canelo. Can you just tell me? Because I know you have a brain. You're watching. Can you explain to me why do you think Canelo hasn't had a knockout since, I think, Caleb Plant?
2021.
Yeah, I mean, he's on a decline. He's getting older, I would say.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, you can continue. I'm listening.
No, good brother. Since we got you on, anything in particular you want to chime in about that we discussed, or is anything on your?
What's your top? Oh, you mentioned about the whole money grab. Here's the thing, man. Two things can be true. Let's just be honest. If Canelo is seen as the guy, the apex of right now in boxing, why would a person who has a competitive spirit not want to go for the top dog? Two things can be true. Legacy and making money can both coexist. But I don't know why people only want to focus on the money side. Can Crawford just honestly just want to prove to the world that he is that guy? Crawford has that kind of mentality. I think it's unfair that people want to isolate him to, he's just going up there for a payday. No, he's going up there to show that he is the best and also get paid. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
Two things can be true.
Yeah, but now I agree with you. Like now I like that he's daring to be great. It's just like I was saying, it was just a video that I saw. Like I'm saying, this was different videos of him saying that he wouldn't fight Canelo. There's too much of a weight jump.
I can explain that too. So here's another thing, and this is the problem I think with media and like YouTube. People like to take what we hear and we take it as gospel. Here's the thing: when you have a plan in life, you got to throw people off. You don't never let nobody in your game room until it's time. Crawford is a savvy businessman. If you know anything about him, he's a very savvy businessman. He is a very quiet man. He don't talk too much about stuff. The reason why he didn't let the cat out the bag because it wasn't time yet. He's playing possum. He's throwing the YouTubers off. He don't want people in his business. You know Crawford has always had big money people in his back. That's another funny part. Nobody wants to give Crawford about Turkey. Nobody wants to give Crawford any credit about being one of the first to really bring Turkey into the space. People laughed at him about Black Prime. Now you see Black Prime that company. The reality is that Crawford was never going to share with the public what's on his mind at the right time. It just doesn't work that way. So just because he withheld information, he played the game the right way because he knew. But guess what? If you want to quote Crawford, why don't you quote Crawford during his concert, his parade that they held for him in Omaha, when he spoke about he would love to fight Canelo, when he spoke about legacy, and that is a fight that he would love to pursue. But no one talks about that. They take this one interview where he talks about weight classes for a reason. Here's the reality. Crawford knows his limitations. He looks at that 168 and he knows, okay, Canelo is built for me. Not all 168s are built equally.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta respect that. He understands. No, I don't want David Benavidez. David Benavidez is taller, longer. He's a true 168er. He's truly, maybe even heavier. That's truly his thing. Canelo moved up. Canelo is a dense. Canelo's built like a running back. He's dense. He's small. And I don't understand why people don't realize that Crawford is taller. Crawford has more reach in his arm.
Yeah.
And Crawford, to be quite honest, he naturally walks around at about, I would say, maybe about 160, 60 something.
So maybe even more. But I'm gonna build on what you're saying because that is a nuanced approach in understanding the intricacies of the sport, right? See, in the past, you had when I referenced Roy Jones before, right? Roy Jones knew that if I'm going to fight a heavyweight, I'm not messing with Lennox Lewis. Like that's too much of a daunting task. But when I see Ruiz right there, his height, he's more somebody that I match up better with, and I can go ahead and dare to be great there. Like you said, Terrance Bud Crawford, and then people like Manny Pacquiao and Marquez. Marquez knew, I don't care what weight class you go to, Pacquiao, me and you can always get busy because of our fighting style, our rhythms and everything. It's always going to be a good matchup, and I can always get at you. I might not be able to beat some of these other 147-pound fighters, but I know I can beat you. You have guys like that. So in this situation with Crawford, he probably looked before he saw Mayweather, he saw Amir Khan. Even though Amir Khan got knocked out, he was having some success early. He saw how Lara was able to mitigate a lot of stuff that Canelo likes to do. And also he's looking at Canelo now and seeing the breaks that he takes. He said, nah, he can't be doing that type of stuff against me because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to force the tempo on him where he's going to be doing stuff that he doesn't want to do. He's not going to be able to keep that same pace against me. And so he just sees a lot of little stuff in him. And for one night, I can get at you, baby boy. And so that's what it is. So I can understand where he's coming from. I just never seen somebody who is talented as Crawford go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? I can't see that happening. I don't see him like doing that to him. He may be able to beat Crawford. It may be too much of a daunting task, but I do like Crawford's chances based on what I see, the way this, how long Crawford is, the adjustments that he makes, and then just Crawford being Crawford. That's a tough dude, man. When he put his mind to something, I don't know anything that he can't do. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it. But anyway, my guy, you want to talk about anything else? Because these fellas, you know, they got the Super Bowl. Y'all fellas on here, I know we'll be going in detail about everything. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it could be open. I'll chime in. Nothing on the mind right as of yet. It don't matter. We can go any direction.
Couple things before I go ahead and go to the next part. Did you see Quote last week, Clarissa Shields?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
what did you think about her performance last week?
The thing is that it's just not enough talent for her around. She has access to. Performance was okay. The girl really, The girl didn't really have no real experience, man. I mean, that girl being so big, I thought she was going to be able to use some boxing. When she had to go against the ring, the ropes, I thought she was getting ready to, do some damage, and she didn't take advantage. So, I mean, the girl did what she had to do. But I would just love to see her with some real competition, man. That's all.
Yeah.
I wasn't. That moment, she looked kind of sloppy, to be honest with you. But I like that pull counter she did to knock her down and all that. But there were just too many moments where it didn't look like boxing anymore.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. I can't blame her. I mean, what does she have access to,
Yeah, and it was good for Flint, her hometown, and all that type of stuff.
Correct.
Bring it full circle. It's a couple other things, man. Turki Alalshikh, I like the Turkey, man. He seemed like a fair guy. He eyeing a new way against Nakatani next year. Some type of connection with Japan and the Middle East, where he's trying to put a monumental matchup. That's the one that he wants next year. I want to say in like October. He got a whole list of things that he has coming up down the pipe. The other thing with Turkey, what I liked about what he was talking about, he had a recent interview. I want to say that was with ESPN.
Yeah.
He's a fair guy, where he was saying, how Tank been saying a lot of derogatory things about him. And he said, I don't take it personal. I still want to see Tank against Shakur. I think that might be on here. And he wants to make that happen. And then also a new way, his next fight is going to be against a gentleman named Picasso. It's nothing even to talk about. Picasso looks like he's too straight up and down. Ultimately, look like that's going to be easy work for the monster right there. But I'm going to go ahead and go to this right here. So Jamal Charlo, he responded to Caleb Plant, who's calling him out, and he's saying that he really wouldn't mind, taking on that or getting that smoke with Caleb Plant. What do you fellas think about? Well, let's start with you, Vic. I haven't heard from you in a minute, man. What do you think about a potential matchup between Caleb Plant and Jamal Charlo?
I mean, I think it's a fight that probably should have happened like maybe a year or two ago, and I think it's interesting because I think it was more evenly matched a couple years ago. I think Jamal Charlo is still a threat, but he hasn't been active, and I don't know how much his head is in the game to be going there with Plant, who is definitely going to be serious. So this fight lost his luster, but it's still worth seeing. So I still think it'll be a good fight, but at this point, I would favor Caleb Plant in this fight.
Gotcha. What about you, Todd?
Yeah, I'm with Bell. I just feel that Amal, he's just been too inactive. I mean, I know he's had to fight with Jose Benavidez, but still, he's just been too inactive. In between all of that, you're supposed to fight Cornflake LaManna. That would have been an easy fight, in my opinion, and then that got that didn't happen. So I think that would have been a good fight just to see, get his head back in the game. But so I'm with Bell at this point, man. I think this is easy work for Caleb Plant.
Yes, sir. What about you, 444?
I have to agree with everybody. Would have been great 3 years ago. Now, depending on, I don't know where he's at as far as his headspace and training, but let's just say he is taking it serious. It could be an interesting fight then, because McCumbee did some things to Plant, and it was McCumbee's lack of IQ that lost him that fight. So I said to myself, I don't know, if Charlo can get back, I don't know, at least some of what he used to have, he posed a very good opportunity to probably beat Plant. But if he's still in that crazy headspace and not taking it serious, Plant definitely will win.
Yeah, I just need my guy Charlo to get active. You know what I'm saying? And then let the chips fall where they may. But don't go in there after this long layoff and trying to get busy with Caleb Plant, because I definitely favor Caleb Plant in that fight if he doesn't get a tune-up in. I'm gonna go to the comments. Adam Hurley says, when Crawford said the only thing Canelo had on him was his power, he was bluffing. He knows he got power too. Okay. All right. But we got the fight though, man. It's September 13th, Mexican Independence. So again, talking about Turki Alalshikh, his vision for that Tank versus Shakur fight, but win. But check this out, man. Do you think if the money's right, do you think Tank accept the offer to fight Shakur? Even though he's been saying all of these derogatory things about the Sheik, what you think, Bill? You think he'll take that offer, man?
Man, I mean, money will make you change your stance quick, and Tank has shown he's a person that's motivated by money. So I can see money being a motivator. I can see money being a big motivator. So we'll see. We'll see, because it hasn't been. This fight wasn't. It didn't seem to be happening for a minute. But money can make you grow the desire to do certain things.
Okay, well, talk to me, Tom, man. Give me something
Yeah.
to say, man.
Yeah, I can see it happening. Yes, like you said, yes, Tank was saying he was gonna retire and all this stuff, but both guys got fights, right around the corner. I think they're both going to be dominant in this fight. So if they're both dominant, and then you still got the rest of the year, why not? Money talks. So I can definitely see it happen. And two, biggest names in the 135-pound division. Let's shut everybody up and make this thing happen.
Boy, this might be one of the biggest fights in lightweight history. If you think about it, like we talked about this maybe a month or two ago. If you think about two top guys at 135, this might be one of the biggest, man. It might be one of the top three, because when you think about lightweight matchups, it's not many of them that transpired with the number one and number two guy who were looked at as being like that. I want to say like pound for pound on the pound for pound list at 135. And you got two brothers too. But what about you, 444?
I don't think money will make him do it. I think if that was true, he would be at least in negotiating, kind of similar to what Canelo has done. Canelo initially kind of shunned the Sheik away, acting like he's, financing all of his own fights. But soon and quickly he realized, like, I got to go with the gravy train. It's all about who has the money. What I will say is that I think Tank would be forced to fight a Shakur because of certain maybe financial, issues in his own life. In
like
my
taxes
opinion,
and stuff like that.
Yeah, like just the reality. These guys, this is what they do for a living, and they have a lifestyle where they're spending a lot. So the reality is that you got to make money. You have to continue to make money. And I think he'll be forced. If anything, I think he'll do it out of desperation. And that's what I truly believe. I think right now, if he's comfortable where he's at money, I don't think money would actually get him to go over, because honestly speaking, man, if he loses that fight, I don't think he can handle the public shame. And just, he has a very big ego. So I don't see him handling that well.
Yeah. Who would you favor?
I would favor Shakur.
Is that right?
Absolutely, 100%.
Let's go through.
Hey! I prefer Shakur too. I favor him too.
Okay, man, y'all doing Tank dirty, man. You ain't
No, I ain't about doing dirty. It's just style wise, and then also, sometimes if you think you can beat somebody, you will fight them.
That's what exactly. It's very simple. It's that we make it complicated. The YouTubers have made it so complicated. It's not that easy. It's not that difficult. If I know I can beat you, and I'm getting paid to do it, right, ain't nothing stopping me from doing it. I'll get you out the way, man, and move on with my life.
Right. No, listen, to be honest with you, I'm just trying to rile you fellas up. I feel the same way. Like, Tank has been, he'll tell you, like, why would you be fighting Rolly Romero? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you fighting, and why are you doing these catch weight or you weight draining these dudes? It's always an advantage that you have to have over somebody in order to get in the ring with them. He hasn't shown any, and then he always telling you why he doesn't have to fight Shakur. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to going there getting busy. So I agree. And that's the reason I think mentally he has a lot there,
There you go.
So we'll see. Hopefully they'll be able to get in the ring though at some point for whatever reason. Vale, you want to talk about this right here. This Dillian White is going to square off against Joe Joyce. Both of them are on the downside, man.
Yes.
At this particular point, who would you favor between Dillian White and Joe Joyce?
Yeah, it gets harder every time you think about it, and I think a lot of it has to do with how far Joe Joyce has dropped in recent years, and this drop off was pretty fast. And Dillian White, he's been dropping off slowly, for the last few years, and he's more kind of, almost gatekeeper / journeyman status. But I think this fight will be exciting. I mean, I'm not sure if I will enjoy watching it and knowing what's the end result of it, what these guys are going to feel like in 10 years. That part about it I don't like. But I mean, hey, it's gonna be some. I think Dillian White is probably a lot faster. We know Joe Joyce is slow, but we know he in the past he had the ability to time opponents very, very correctly, and he hasn't shown that in the last few fights. So for that reason, I think Dillian White is gonna beat him. Because that's the only thing I felt like that was Joe Joyce's like cheat code, is that he could throw a punch and no matter how slow it was coming, he knew where you were going to be, and it seems like he doesn't have that anymore. So, Dillian White.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it's a tricky one, but I like Dillian White, his shot better. Like Bell said, I just feel that Joe Joyce, he took those damage and loss to Zhilei Zhang. He's slower, he's older. And Dillian White, he's been on a nice little comeback. He's won his last couple fights. He looked very good. He looked very good against Jermaine Franklin. I know that was a while ago, but I just feel Dillian White's his opportunity in this fight is a lot better than Joe Joyce.
Okay. Talk to us 444.
Yeah, I would go with Dillian White on this one. I think Joe Joyce is I don't think he recovered properly mentally from those losses. People can take losses and still come back a threat, but I didn't see the return. I didn't see the basically it's like a Dubois. Dubois took a loss. Everybody counted him out, said he was a punk, soft, but he came back and he's a champion. And he did it the right way. He grinded back up, it was fight after fight. I don't see that from Joe Joyce. Therefore, I think that Dillian White will prevail. But it is a tough fight to kind of figure out. But I think Dillian White mentality is going to overcome Joe Joyce mentality.
Yeah. See, the thing with Joe Joyce, it's the manner in which he got whooped. That like he used to have that titanium chin. And so first off, he was getting hurt pretty badly in the first fight. And then the next fight, the left hand just pummeled him. Like he was just, and you never saw that. That was the thing about him. He was like a swift herd. Like they could take a lot of punishment, but they just keep coming. And then it's just like he's mentally draining you and then physically draining you because he's so big. And then by the time you get to the latter part of the fight, he's starting to rev up a little bit more and more. And then it's just too much of a daunting task, kind of like he did against the guy who's about to fight for the championship now, or in a few weeks, Joseph Parker. Like Parker he just couldn't just keep that pace up. And then eventually he got him in the corner in the 11th round, and he got him out of there. To me, that was his most impressive victory. The Dubois fight was impressive as well, but I just thought that he kind of put it all together. But then against Jelly John, I commend him because he didn't have to face Jelly John. Because when they said that he was about to fight Jelly John, I'm like, dude, why are you doing it? Because you next in line for a chance at the title. And, lo and behold, Jelly John did what I thought he was going to do to him because I knew that he wasn't going to have a hard time hitting him. It was just a matter if Jelly John was going to get him out of there before the latter half of the fight, because that's when Jelly John typically gets a little bit fatigued. And then that's probably when Joyce could have had come on and had some success then. But now he's a shell of himself, man. But I'm going to tell you like this. Dillian White don't look much better. I'm seeing him fight against the Ebenezer guy about a month ago. He was looking like Larry Holmes, flabby and sick.
Yeah.
So Joyce is so bad right now that Chisora fight, he didn't look too good. I think he might have got dropped. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a draw, man. I have no idea with that one because it's just two shot guys that's gonna be welling on each other. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
but shout out to both guys, you know, for taking that fight. Last, I've got a few more topics, man. I want to ask you fellas this question right here. So you got Sabrias Matias. He's fighting against a gentleman named Gabriel Valenzuela. The winner is going to be in position to challenge Hitchens. If Matias is successful against Valenzuela, who would you like between Hitchens and Matias? What are you thinking? What are you thinking about?
I would say Matias. Even though Matias' stock has dropped, I think he's still a big threat, and I think I'm still unsure if Hitchens is ready for that type of a fight. I still don't think so.
Yeah, I'll go with Hitchens in this fight. I just believe that yes, we know Matias he's a tank. We know he's got all these knockouts. He keeps coming. But the thing is with him, he starts slow. And then he eventually breaks you down and everything. But I think Hitchens is too smart to stand in front of him, too smart to go toe to toe with him. I just see Hitchens outboxing him, being defensively responsible for 12 rounds, just being on his A game for his defense. He know that this guy hits hard. This guy hits like a tank, and he's going to be smart enough to avoid that. So I see him just boxing circles, around Matias for, 12 rounds. And, Matias, he'll get frustrated, and Hitchens, like, he's just going to get stronger. And so I go with Hitchens by decision.
Gotcha.
I'm going to go with Matias on this fight. I think that I would hope that he learned from the Paro fight and made some adjustments in his skill set a little bit. I think if he cuts the ring off, that's going to be a problem for Hitchens. Yeah. So I'm going with Matias in this one.
Yeah, I would definitely go with Matias pre-Liam Paro fight because I think Hitchens had an opportunity to face him, but he didn't take the opportunity for whatever reason. But now the only thing my concern with Matias is his confidence after the Paro fight, fighting against another, I'm gonna say upper echelon, but a champion, at this particular stage, after that loss. I know he had a victory afterwards, but this fight right here against Valenzuela is going to tell me the tale. Well, I'll really know if he's back to where he was before, because he was doing way too much as far as, playing to the crowd and things like that in Puerto Rico. He wasn't being that menacing Matias. He was more so just like being too friendly to me, and that's not what makes him who he is. He needs to get back to that mean joker who tags that body, that touches you up, and that has that mean streak. If he gets back to that, then I would definitely favor him over Hitchens because Hitchens just doesn't have the firepower to keep him off. But I think someone had a question for you in the chat, or one of you fellas. It says, question, do you think Tank is in a good headspace enough for his upcoming fight to win it due to situations he's been faced with? As far as like, I want to say coaches and things like that. Do you fellas think Tank is going to be in a good headspace for his fight against Lamont Roach? Appreciate the question, JGST Wiggs 432.
I don't think he needs to be, and to be honest, I don't think it matters because it's nothing that he's dealing with that fighters in history didn't deal with. They just found a way. So I'm not going to even have it as an excuse that he wasn't in the headspace if something happens or if he doesn't perform as well.
I don't think it's an excuse. It's just a question. Do you think that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, fighters today are just, some of my head cases.
Yeah, they Blues Clues Clifford the Big Red Dog syndrome. They're too sensitive. You understand what I'm saying? But what do you think?
But didn't we say the same thing about Ryan Garcia before his fight with Devin Haney? How he definitely wasn't in good headspace.
He's going to be on steroids, so he's going to be on juice.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then, you can throw everything out the window. But we don't know Tank to be on no juice.
We don't know.
The question is, so anybody who can answer the question, is he in a good enough headspace? Do you think?
My response would be, I'll go after you. My bad, go.
I just want to say that's my boy Aaron, man. Well, he went with me to the Jetta fight back in July. We've been boys since day one. Yeah,
Shout out.
yeah, I think he's in there. Yeah, we seen Tank in situations in the past. The situation with the woman, the situation with the DUI, whatever he had. So and he's still getting in that ring and perform. I think once he gets in that ring, all his distractions behind him. Once he get in that ring, he's on his A game. He's locked in, and of course he's fighting Lamont Roach, man. So I mean, this is easy work. Even if he was going through something, I think this is still easy work. So yeah, I definitely think Tank he's gonna win. He's in a good headspace.
Aaron, hit that like and subscribe button to our channel as well. What you think?
So
yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's in a decent headspace. Despite what's going on in his personal life, he is definitely in the right space for the fight, though, because he understands that this is his livelihood. This is all Tank has right now. He has to make sure that he maintains his superiority in what he's doing. I don't think he's overlooking Lamont. I mean, if what I'm seeing is true as far as his training, Tank knows that I can't sleep on Lamont. Now, can Lamont have an opportunity to upset the card? I mean, yeah, but the chances of that happening is very, 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 very slim. If Tank loses Lamont, man, he can't take the embarrassment. Tank is in the right headspace.
Yeah, I can see where my guy is coming from with the question, because it does seem like Tank is kind of all over the place. Even when you looked at the press conferences, he just seemed like he's somewhere else sometimes. But he does that typically in press conferences, so you just never know, right? To me, more so in this fight, what would be more problematic is the familiarity between both guys, because Lamont Roach seems like he's not intimidated at all by Tank because he's used to fighting Tank. And some of the things that Tank may get away with other people because they just wouldn't be used to him throwing certain shots. He's already understanding where some of those shots are going to come from. And also he probably had some success against Tank in some of the fights that they had previously, but they just look like they know each other. It's like this, man. Me being a former basketball player, we used to have summer leagues, and I mentioned this before. I remember we used to have our schedule. And so I'm looking at the schedule, and I'm looking at some of these teams on there like they food. I'm like, okay, we got them. We got this park over here. And then my boy, who was one of the best players in the state, not to say that I wasn't, they probably didn't consider, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I used to get busy too. But he'll look at the schedule and he'll be like, oh man, that's going to be a tough game right there. And I'm looking, it's just more so that's a team that we're about to play. They familiar with us. Like we grew up together. And so it's like, okay, they're just going to be fighting tooth and nail against us, even though they're not as talented. It's just they got the familiarity. And I think that might be the case in this one, because Lamont Roach, to me, when I look at the talent, it doesn't seem like it's all there, to be able to beat somebody like Tank. But when you have the hunger and then you also had a familiarity, that might make up for some of the lack of talent.
That's true.
So we'll see. It might be a tougher fight than we think, but I don't think he has enough to be able to defeat Tank in a 12-round fight. Anything else you got? But appreciate the question. What's your boy name, Ty?
Aaron.
Aaron. Appreciate the question, Aaron. And then the last few things, man. You got Berlanga. He got a hit list. You got Munguia, Charlo, and Canelo. Man, my question is this: would you favor him in any of those fights? I'm talking about a hit list.
If it's me, I don't favor him in any of them except Charlo. But if we're talking about Maul, then I would favor him over Maul. If we're talking about Mel, no, I don't favor him over Mel.
Well, I think Mel going back to 54. He at the very highest it'd be 60. So you got to be Maul.
Yeah, but I would give him a shot against Maul, but not against Munguia or Canelo.
What about you, 444?
I don't favor him in any one except Maul, I would say, and that's only because of Maul's condition. If Maul shows me something, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Even when Maul fought that Jose Benavidez, I mean, we knew he wasn't all there, but he still held his own in that. To be honest with you, the Maul fight would be 50-50. Berlanga and Maul will be a 50-50 fight if he comes like the Maul that fought Jose Benavidez. All the other ones, I don't favor him at all.
Right. What about you, Bill? My bad.
Well, because I don't think Munguia is gonna make that mistake again. I think he learned his lesson. So
yeah, me too. I like them over him as well. What about you, Val?
Probably none of them. But I can see cases where I can see him besting Jamal or even besting Munguia if he catch him right. But if we talking percentages, if him being a favorite, I don't favor him over none of them. Good that he got the hit list. Probably should have had it earlier, like years ago. I think it would have helped him if he would had his hit list and worked himself up the chain maybe a year or two ago.
Yeah, Aaron, it's last ones at the bar. What's come? Ty put it in their face. Yeah, make sure you hit the like, subscribe. Anybody else that's in there, please do so. And this right here, this is some nonsense, man. And this is why the sport is getting messed up. See, they put up and propel dudes who don't deserve the opportunities that they get. And then you start looking at other dudes who really deserve those opportunities as if you better than them. And they looking at you like, dude, you ain't even that good. And so it just causes so much confusion. How in the heck do you have a hit list with people that you can't really beat? It should be the other way around. Like, come on, man. This is nutty, man. He got a hit list. If his hit list should be Skull, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like William Scull or Anthony Yiggett or something. Man, you can't. Come on. Let's stop all the nonsense. And then your boy back in action against somebody. I don't know. How is he fighting? How do they keep figuring these dudes out to give Janabek? Every time he defended the championship, it's like, where do you find him?
Canelo's going to fight him in one of those fights. Watch.
It wouldn't even make sense. Like what's
May next year. Canelo versus Janabek.
Let's be serious, man. My question, fellas, this is the last one of the day. What do you think about Janabek, man? Like it's hopefully because you got give me a second. You got the other guys who are fighting on this card that's coming up on the 22nd, the middleweight fight, because you got one of them is the champion. I forgot my guy's name. He's like either for Colombia, I believe. Not Colombia. He's from either Dominican Republic or Colombia. He's from one of those places. Adonis is fighting, and he's fighting against a pretty good fighter with a 50-50 fight. Hopefully, they'll get a unification matchup. But he's fighting so many less than stellar guys. How are you going to be sharp and steel when you never fight anybody? Like, I just don't get it. What's your assessment of Janabek as a fighter?
Hey, man, he's following the Berlanga blueprint, you know, and even the Munguia blueprint years ago when they wouldn't fight anybody. And, you know, eventually he's going to step up and he's going to lose. Just like Demetrius Andrade just did. You know, Janabek is going to get a big fight. He's going to step up and he's going to find out. They're going to find out he's ill-equipped. His management and promoter will cash out on him and he's going to lose. Simple as that.
Yeah,
I have to agree with that as well.
What you think, Ty? You about to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say something like that goes to what Val was saying. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was supposed to fight Andre, and Andre turned it down because the press wasn't good or something like that. So I mean, he had an opportunity to fight Andre, but I mean that was
that is true. That's true.
That's about 3 years ago, man. You can't keep talking about that old stuff, man.
Well, I like Janabek, and like I hope he doesn't get too old before we start seeing him there with some real competition. So.
You can't be mad at. You can't be giving him a pass, and you on Tank bumper. Like he doing the same. He doing it worse because he not at least Tank making some money doing what he doing. Like he pulled out a fight one time because he wasn't making no money. Like, dude, once you fight somebody, then you can go ahead and demand the money that you want. What are you gonna say? 444.
Yeah, I have to agree with everyone. He just following that light touch, that path, but that can backfire on him because, like the gentleman said, he stepped into some real competition, man, and it might be lights out for him, man. So people like that, they're doing themselves a disservice to their career, man. You gotta at least sprinkle some tough fights in your career, man. I ain't trying to say every fight got to be tough, but you gotta sprinkle some tough fights, man.
Shout out to my guy last week fighting David Benavidez, David Morrell. It's okay to take that L early, man. Yes, sometimes you learn. Sometimes
Absolutely.
sometimes your biggest loss is a game. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you gotta approach the situation. I'm gonna read some of these comments and we're gonna close this out. They'll like to end with a hip-hop question. So I got one for you before we go ahead and wrap up. Boston George says Canelo fighting another champion. Yeah, if you want to call him that. I mean, technically it's Boston George also says Madrimov had 18 losses in the amateurs. He has more losses than KO wins. In the pros, Madrimov best 0 champions in his career. I don't know what that meant.
I don't know what that means.
I appreciate that, Aaron. Salute to you, sir. Where are the white girls? I don't know, man. I ain't had one of them in a minute. You understand what I'm saying? But when you find out, let me know. You understand what I'm saying? We don't discriminate around here. It says Boston George said Crawford 2024 was a waste of everyone's time. He needed Canelo in 2025 to not be forgotten. Okay, Boston George. Boston George also said 2024 is an example we use to explain cherry picking. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts as far as with Boston George. He's heavy in the comment section. Make sure you're heavy on that like and subscribe button too, sir. Boston George says Andre is a cherry pick. Benavidez moved down the rankings after beating Andre by KO. Okay.
He was undefeated.
Yeah, and then also they were saying that that was the most concerning fight that they had as far as Benavidez Senior, if he was being honest, because he said that they knew how tricky he was at being a lefty. They were more concerned going into that fight than any other fight, including David Morrell. Shorty LLC says Canelo taking O's. He's the most active fighter. Rematch with Bivol might be in a 4-fight deal. I doubt it, sir. But that's good. That's positive thinking on your part, sir. Anything else you guys have boxing related? Because my last question is going to be for Vail as far as his hip hop question.
Yeah, I got a question, man, for everybody. If Beterbiev gets past Bivol, who do y'all think wins between him and Benavidez at this point in their careers?
I think Beterbiev would smoke the heck out of that.
Better be.
Beterbiev would smoke the heck out of
I'm gonna go with Benavidez.
I don't know if he smokes him, but Beterbiev. The only thing that's working against Beterbiev is the wear and tear on his own body. But the problem with Benavidez is not so much wear and tear on his body, is that he's been in a lot of rough fights over years, and that can be mentally taxing. And his style doesn't really age as well as a Beterbiev. So Beterbiev's body hold up, I will favor Beterbiev.
Gotcha. I only asked that. I asked that because, when I interviewed Scully, he was saying if Benavidez thinks he can walk through Beterbiev, he's dreaming. So,
he might be.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's that. That's, you see that one that's propped up there. That's that Benavidez pack right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man, the styles make fights. Benavidez.
Why do you think Beterbiev beats Benavidez?
My thing is that's 5 rounds tops because of his style. Because he's coming in there, he's winging those shots, and you're gonna be walking right into a monster you're gonna walk into something. You saw what happened in that 4th round against Morrell. Morrell clipped him with something. He kind of, caught him a little bit, right? You're not Beterbiev, just like I said, the precision punching. I only see somebody who can beat Beterbiev right now. You have to be a little bit more, have a little bit more movement where you keeping them at bay, where you got to respect you, but at the same time you're moving on them angles and things like that where you can't catch a beat on you. He's gonna set him up for something. It's gonna be ugly, man. 5 rounds.
Why didn't Bivol go down? Beterbiev hit Bivol a few times flush.
I think that Bivol is a bad boy, man. Like that's a machine right there, and just his style, like that's going to be always going to be technically. You got 2 superior guys technically. I don't see the technical skills with Benavidez on the level of a Bivol. That's just me. You know, I could be wrong, but this one right here, I would put the house on that. 5 rounds or less. This big strong. You see that dude, man? And it's the stuff that he's shooting is so straight. It's so he just couldn't really get a beat on. Remember, also in that fight that they had previously, he's coming off a long layoff. He's coming off a couple of injuries and things like that. They had to postpone the fight. So and then you remember, Bivol had a fight in between when he couldn't fight the first time. So he's a bit more fine-tuned. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in this next one. But I got my money on that big bad boy from Eastern Europe, man. That's a bad dude. Bivol is part of a 4-fight deal. You think so? Okay, that's good there. Better Be versus Benavidez is one heroes collide. Yeah, man. I'm trying to tell you, brother. He said when heroes collide. Okay. Yeah, man. That's gonna be. Whoo! I feel bad for it. And that's why Benavidez is like, man, no, Canelo, you need to fight me, man, because you know you don't want to be messing with that Shorty LLC says, but I see you only have 8 watches, so you really need to do research. And then, but you're one of the people that's watching. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Move on for that. Whoever that is.
The irony. You understand what I'm saying? Better Be is Canelo's GOAT moment. He's Jordan's game 6 months. Okay,
Canelo, and we won't know because Canelo won't fight Better Be. We'll never know.
Y'all need Canelo alone.
Oh yeah, hit me.
This is my last question of the day, fellas. You know, Vale loves his hip hop. So I gotta ask you the question: Illmatic or It Was Written, sir?
Initially, I liked it. It Was Written better, but over time, as I've gotten older, Illmatic is the better CD. I think Illmatic, speaks to me a little bit more as an older person. You know, and when I listen to It Was Written, It Was Written is a doper album, probably musically, but lyrically, when you really listen to what Nas is saying and It Was Written, it's not exactly the same as Illmatic. And when people say that he was more underground in Illmatic, whatever, I don't know. I mean, I think that's based off of sales, because if you listen to what Nas said in Illmatic, it wasn't too far from what he said in It Was Written. It was just more meat there. So I'm going to go with It Was Written.
You fellas have a dog in it.
I'm going to go with Illmatic.
I'm going to go with Illmatic.
Illmatic. Okay. Ty, that's before your time.
Yeah,
though, right?
that was a little before my time, but I will say that Stillmatic, to me, that was a fire CD. And I'm not the biggest Nas fan in the world. Yes, I went to his concert recently, but to me, Stillmatic is fire. That's a classic.
Yeah, I can't say, man, but to me, I like It Was Written a little bit better. Holistically, I think that when you create a CD, that the amount of songs that Illmatic had on there, the storytelling on there. When I came to like Nas, I tell a story, right? So I used to hear, but I remember the Live from the Barbecue when I was 12. I remember the lines and things like that, right? I snubbed Jesus, and that just everybody, But when I really got to be a Nas fan, is I came home and I was kind of stumbling a little bit. I went to this little party, but I was coming home, and they used to have the videos on BET, like the late night videos. So I was and I used to, when I came home late, I would just go to sleep on the couch and watching the TV. So as I'm taking off my clothes and about to get on the couch and lay down, that song was on when he had the army jacket on.
No, it ain't hard to tell.
It ain't hard to tell. But then what caught my ear as I'm about to lay down, he said that I sneak a Uzi on the island in my army jacket lining. I just thought that was the coldest stuff I ever heard. Like just how he put that together. He said, what? And then ever since then I started listening to the whole CD, One Love, and all of those songs. Like, this dude is cold, especially at that time when he's kind of like a Rakim type MC, with his metaphors and things like that. So that's when I fell in love with him. But then that CD that came out right there was Written. And then also, like you said, Stillmatic with the rewind and all of that on there. I'm like, this dude is cold, man. But I would have to go with Stillmatic just by a hair, but you can't lose with either one. All right, fellas, man, we can go ahead and begin to wrap this up. But anything else? Let me take a look inside the chat. My main man, Aaron, he says Illmatic. Again, you can't lose. I feel you on that. Let me see. I would hit the like button. Have a good one. You got KC. I feel you on that. Fellas, who do you have? I know Vail is hating on Kansas City. You know, I'm going with Kansas City because I got all my chips, you know, pitched to the Kansas City side. But who do you think is going to win, Ty?
I got the Eagles.
You got the Eagles. All right, so we're going to get you up out of here, sir. What about you, 444? Got a dog in a fight?
He might be out.
He might be out, but I do want to say this before we wrap up. I'll see
No, you can hear me? You can hear me?
Loud and clear.
I got Kansas City. If people think that Mahomes gonna get all the way here to make history and not take that moment, they bugging.
Yeah, and also the refs. You know what I'm saying? The refs ain't come this far, you know, cheating. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna finish the job, you know. So I do want to say this, man. I just want to say appreciate you for all the people in the chat, Aaron, Boston George, Shorty LLC, anybody that's in the chat that's showing love, even the haters, man. You know, you need that in your life. And we're gonna go ahead and keep it rocking like a cutoff stocking. Anything else before Bill closes out?
Hey, yeah, I just want to ask 444. I think I heard you in here before one time I was watching. Like, do you be on any channels, or you got a channel or anything like that?
Yeah, I'll be on other channels. I haven't launched mine yet. I'm kind of still organizing it, but you know, I go to other channels.
Okay, cool.
Appreciate you coming on.
Like, you be like, the questions you ask me, like you question my thinking. So I mean, it's cool. It's cool to rap with other fans. So like, I appreciate your knowledge, man.
No, for sure. It's just I want to kind of just add another perspective to the whole boxing. The narrative stuff is just out of control, you know. We got to kind of just try to have real conversations and challenge some real things, you know, so we can kind of think outside the box, you know.
Right. Certainly appreciate it, man. He brought a lot of knowledge to the table, man. Before I let you close it out, man, shout out to Bo Mac though too, man. You know what I'm saying?
We ain't gonna talk about Bo Mac, man. Let that man enjoy his life, man.
That's what's up, man. He look like you trim it down a little bit, though. I see. Go ahead, man. Close us out, man.
All right, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. This last one's at the bar. We do this every week, man. So everybody, enjoy the Super Bowl Sunday. Be very, very safe and responsible because we want to see you here next week. And we out.
All right, peace, fellas. Y'all be. All right, peace.